Hello again, Gills fans. Welcome back to the latest episode of Gills in the Blood TV. It's Monday review time, and yes, I am talking about Gillingham Football Club winning a league game on a Saturday for the first time since the 21st of August 2021. And I'm also talking about a Gills first away win in the league since the 28th of September. Those wins coming against Morecambe and Cambridge respectively. Final score at Sincil Bank on Saturday was Gillingham winning by 2-0 against Lincoln City, courtesy of goals from Dane Oliver and Ben Thompson in what was probably the most polished performance of Neil Harris's reign so far. Neil Harris set us up in that familiar 3-5-2 system now. There was one change from Tuesday's 0-0 draw with Wimbledon. Dan Phillips came into the starting 11 as Ben Reeves, who got an hour in that 0-0 draw, dropped to the bench after coming off with cramp in the midweek fixture. So Phillips slotted in alongside Ollie Lee, and it was Stuart O'Keefe and Ben Thompson charged with flanking big for Dane Oliver in forward areas. We were decent first half. We should have been out of sight after 15 minutes. We pinched possession high. We didn't allow them to play out from the back. We didn't let their keeper go to their fullbacks. We didn't let their keeper go to their centre-backs. And the first chance came, didn't it? With us turning over possession high up, like we'd set out to do. Daniel Phillips, very, very good on the day. We'll get to him a little bit later. Managed to nick the ball in the inside left channel. Drives and drives and drives towards the penalty area. Gets his head up, shows good awareness. Rolls it across the box to Ben Thompson. His shot, probably not quite powerful enough. Beats the keeper, but a defender managed to get back and hack it off the line. And shortly after, ball got played into a dangerous area. It fell to Robbie McKenzie about 15, 16 yards out. Good hit first time on the volley. And to be fair to Josh Griffiths in the Lincoln City goal, it's a really good save, and he pushes it onto the post and gets his little bit of luck that he probably deserved for a decent stop. In fairness to us, defensively, we were absolutely spot on. We defended our box really well. Jack Tucker did have to be alert though midway through the first period to get himself in front of a ball that came into John Marquis. Both got there at about the same time. Tucker stood tall and managed to block the effort, and we managed to hack it clear. And then the game settled down, didn't it? There was a period between 25 and 35 minutes where it went very quiet. Game was being played in the middle third. There was another half chance for Marquis, probably his best opening, to be fair, because we kept him very quiet. Ball in from Brooke Norton-Cuffey, who was, for me, probably the best Lincoln City player on the day. Got into some good areas. His crossing wasn't always spot on, but he consistently decided to get the ball into the box and try and make things happen. John Marquis has just got to make good contact, and he doesn't, and the ball runs out harmlessly over the far side for a goal kick. But yeah, it was a solid first half. It was a foundation to go and be braver in the second period. I don't think we've conceded a first half goal under Neil Harris yet, and invariably, we could have been playing against 10 because Teddy Bishop, for me, should be sent off. Daniel Phillips, if he goes down and rolls around, it's a red card. He's honest and stays up, and it probably saves Bishop, and he only gets a caution. It's a horrendous tackle. He's out of control. He's off the floor, two-footed, and Daniel Phillips is lucky that he's seen it coming. But yeah, 0-0 at the break, and very, very accomplished first half performance. Second half, I'm sure the Gills players were told more of the same. Keep pressing high, keep pinching possession and turning it over and getting into good areas quickly. I'm sure Michael Appleton, on the other hand, would have told Lincoln they had to be a lot better. And to be fair, they probably couldn't have been a lot worse than they were first period. And they weren't. They come out fairly bright second half and had probably a 10-15 minute spell where they were on top without really ever getting in behind, without really ever forcing Aaron Chapman into a proper save. Succession of corners that we defended fairly well. The big chance that shouldn't have been a chance that almost went in came when Chris Maguire dropped a shoulder and got a ball onto his left foot about 25 yards from goal. Aaron Chapman got an arm on it, but it sort of squirmed away from him and it looked like it was going to trickle over the line. But thankfully, being 6'6", 6'7", he managed to get one of them massive arms out and to claw it back off the line before it could be put over to keep the game at 0-0 and keep us on level terms. After that, again, there was a flat period from 60 to 70 minutes. It went quiet, similar to the first period. Game was played in the middle third. No real clear-cut chances. But gradually, the Gills grew and grew into the game again, and we started to stamp our authority on things again. We made a change, didn't we? Ollie Lee, who had been booked in the first half, was sacrificed for Ben Reeves. He went up alongside Ben Thompson to support for Dane Oliver, and O'Keefe dropped back in alongside Phillips to give us more steel in the middle of the park, so to speak. And first goal's really, really good, isn't it? There's some good play between Ben Thompson and Stuart O'Keefe. The ball eventually works its way to Thompson on the left-hand side. You look like he's going to drop a shoulder, but I think he's clever. It's a really early cross Dane Oliver gets a run on the centre half and he just wants it more than that player simply. And the keeper makes it a little bit easier as well, doesn't he? Comes and flaps at it. But Big V gets there first, gets his big head onto it, into the bottom corner. 15 minutes to play. Gills 1-0 up and giving ourselves a chance, because you have to remember, just before that goal, the gap was 7 points to safety. Doncaster were losing at Wimbledon 2-0, so they was going away from us, the Dons. Fleetwood were 3-0 up at Fratton Park, putting in one of their best performances of the season. Morecambe were beating Ipswich to get themselves out of danger. And yeah, we were only drawing. But that goal got it back to 5. And then we defended fairly solidly, didn't we? I think Morgan Whittaker shanked one over the bar late on. Didn't cause us any real problems again. For me, watching the rerun of the game, Lincoln never looked like they was ever going to get back into it. And that's testament to our performance and our game plan. And testament to Neil Harris and his players for, number one, implementing it, and number two, carrying it out. And then we scored a really, really good second goal, didn't we? Ben Reeves is involved, Stuart O'Keefe's involved, Dane Oliver is involved. And the move ends up with, I think, Stuart O'Keefe giving it to Ben Reeves, and he plays a little lofted ball into V. First time headed down, I think it was, or a little flick pass. Ben Thompson, 25 yards out, gets it out of his feet, arrows it into the bottom corner. From a Lincoln point of view, can the keeper do better? It's at his near post. Don't really care. It's a good hit. It's on target. 2-0, 3 massive points. We're then looking at other scores. Fleetwood have pegged back to 3-2. Ipswich have equalised at Morecambe. Donny have scored twice in 2 minutes to get back on level terms at Wimbledon as well. And suddenly it looked like it was being a pretty pivotal afternoon for the Gills. It got even better in injury time down on the south coast. Aidan O'Brien equalising for Portsmouth against Fleetwood to come back from 3-0 behind to draw 3-3. And the full-time whistle came. And suddenly the gap to safety was down to 3 points. And we have to remember, this is a gap that was 10 points when Neil Harris took over. In terms of best Lincoln City player on the day, there weren't many to choose from. Let's be honest, they were very, very poor. You can see why they're sliding towards relegation trouble. Their system looked lopsided. We didn't know whether Tom Hopper was playing as a winger. John Marquis was a centre forward on his own. Anthony Scully looked to be on the left. There was huge amounts of space for us in the middle of the park, especially first period, that we exploited really well, doing everything but score a goal. But for me, it was the right back, the lad that's on loan from Arsenal, as I've already mentioned, Brooke Norton-Cuffy, best of a bad bunch for Michael Appleton's men. Played the full 90 minutes, kept getting up and down that right-hand side, full of energy, full of pace, full of drive. Plenty of things that a lot of the Lincoln City players did not display at all. 70% passing, could probably be a bit higher, but you have to remember he's putting crosses into the box, so that's going to negate that high percentage, so to speak, because you're putting balls into an area rather than into feet. Created a big chance, didn't he? The one for, it might have even been 2 if you class the block from Jack Tucker and also the one into John Marquis where he manages to scuff it wide almost out for a throw-in. 7 attempted crosses, so kept trying to do the right things. And so that for me was Lincoln's man of the match. In terms of the Gills, very accomplished performance from every single one of them 12 players that featured on the afternoon. Aaron Chapman had a bit of a weird afternoon though. Let's talk about him. He's been very solid since coming in, hasn't he? 4 clean sheets in 7 games since Neil Harris arrived. Undoubtedly the number one now. But yeah, had a funny afternoon. There was one clearance that smacked into the back of a Lincoln City player. There was a couple that he hacked out for throw-ins. And then obviously the big moment second half where he nearly lets it slip through his hands, but he gets back. But ultimately he's kept a clean sheet and his distribution did improve. So 6.5 for Aaron Chapman. Back 3, very impressive again. Jack Tucker and Connor Masterson from either side, both solid 7s. But for me, the best of them centre-backs yesterday was Max Emer. Everything second half came into him. He saw off Tom Hopper, he got substituted. He didn't give John Marquis a kick. Chris Maguire didn't influence the game from the number 10 when he was operating in that position. So for me, Max was a 7.5. In terms of the wing-backs, Ryan Jackson and Robbie McKenzie, both very solid again. Solid 7s for the pair of them. Daniel Phillips, another one, 7. Really, really good. Intelligent with how he keeps the ball and how he presses. Knows when to drop off, which is good for a player that is very inexperienced at this level, still learning his trade. And there was one tactical foul, we may not like him, when Lincoln were breaking second half and he pulled the bloke down on the halfway line. Otherwise, they was weighing in on goal. So clever there as well. Even though it's something we hate as fans of a team that is attacking. Ollie Lee, again, for me, I'm not sure in that centre midfield role. I'd have much preferred to have Stuart O'Keefe deeper and him as an attacking midfielder alongside Ben Thompson supporting for Dane Oliver. But he was decent enough. Picked up a booking which may have hindered him a little bit. 6.5 for him. Further forward, Stuart O'Keefe, solid 7, pressed high, involved in at least one of the goals indirectly. And then the other two, Ben Thompson and Verdane Oliver, both absolutely superb. Verdane back to his best, leading the line, causing havoc in the air, scoring a goal, setting up a goal. Ben Thompson, best performance in a Gills shirt since arriving. Scored a goal, set up a goal. There's a pattern forming here, isn't there? Both really good. I've given them both 8.5. And I thought Ben Reeves settled us down as well. He's involved in the second goal, which is ultimately clincher, giving him a solid 6.5 as well. In terms of Gills man of the match, I don't usually do this, but I am going to bottle it and I'm going to sit on the fence for this one. I'm going to give it as a joint award to both Ben Thompson and Verdane Oliver. For all afternoon, they were absolutely superb. Continually showed for the ball, consistently got themselves into good areas, used it well when they had it. Got Lincoln on the half turn a lot of the times. Thompson with his direct running. Verdane Oliver winning all his flick-ons. I think he won 16 out of 20, which is absolutely phenomenal. We've seen all the stats last season, how many he was winning. He was miles clear of every other centre-forward in the division. He's still right up there with that statistic this season, but he missed a large portion of the campaign. But back to his very best yesterday. Ben Thompson, like I say, best performance in a Gills shirt. So for me, joint man of the match award, Ben Thompson and Verdane Oliver. This is all very nice, isn't it? Sitting here listening to me on a Monday talking about Gillingham winning the league. It's something that we've not done for far too long. Like I say, that last Saturday win coming back in August against Morecambe. 3 points is the gap to safety now. Do we dare believe? What's the old saying? It's the hope that kills you. But that is what Neil Harris is doing at the moment. He's giving us hope. He's giving us belief. He's giving us our football team back. Completely different from what we were seeing just over 4 weeks ago before he came in. And this is the same group of players. They bought into absolutely everything that Neil Harris has wanted us to do. If we can get the likes of Ben Reeves fully fit, if we can get Mustafa Carriol fit, we're going to give ourselves a chance. Got another game next week, which is going to be massively tough against Bolton, although they can be a little bit patchy on the road looking at their results. But let's enjoy this one for now. I hope that you've enjoyed going into the office this Monday. I hope you enjoyed going on the building site or going to work wherever you have and talking about a Gillingham win and talking about a very good Gillingham performance, albeit against a very poor Lincoln City side who offered very little for the entirety of the 90 minutes. I'll be back later in the week. There is no midweek game this week, so Neil will get a whole week on the training ground with the players. Hopefully give them a bit of rest and recuperation as well. I'll be tracking down a Bolton fan for match preview on Thursday, and then we'll be back at the Priestfield next Saturday for that massive game for Gillingham against Bolton Wanderers. But until then, enjoy your week and up the Gills.